Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super excited that you're here. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all, I am super hype about today's show. And I'm guessing that you're guessing it's probably got something to do with Michael Jackson, right? Because I am wearing this t-shirt and usually there's some Michael Jackson connection somehow, right? Well, in the house today, I am chatting with Michael Jackson's longtime choreographer, friend, and dancer, LaVelle Smith Jr. He is a part of a tribute show that's coming to the United States for the first time. It's called Rodrigo Teasers, Michael Lives Forever. So we're going to talk about that and more because I have lots of questions about some of the videos, the tours, all the things. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss today's show. Welcome to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
I am good. Great to be here.
I am super excited. I even had to pull out my Michael Jackson t-shirt for the occasion.
I'm loving that shirt. Absolutely loving that shirt.
So I have so many things I want to ask you, but I know we have a limited amount of time. So I'm just going to jump right in. For the people that do not know your long resume, tell us how you got started with Michael Jackson.
Well, let's see. I was living in Chicago. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. At 17, I moved to Chicago and started dancing with a professional jazz dance company. Started doing stuff in the city and realized it was great. I liked commercials. It was fun doing videos and stuff like that. But I knew that LA was a bigger place. So when I was still living in Chicago, I did my first job in LA, and it was Diana Ross American Music Awards, the opening number.
Oh, wow.
And after that, I said, okay, I got to move here. I was 19. I said, okay, I got to move here from Chicago. So that September, I moved there. And I think Smooth Criminal auditions were maybe 2 or 3 weeks after I got to LA, something like that. And I auditioned and I got it. Yeah. And that's really how it happened. That audition process was, I wasn't in a union, so I didn't get to go to the union call. I had to go to the open call, which was like hundreds of dancers. Yeah. And it was 2 or 3 days, but it was so worth it. And I got a call saying I got it. And I was actually asked to be one of the union dancers. So I got my union card through that, and it just changed my life. But that was the first time. I think by the time we started filming, I had turned 20. And I just remember it being, I couldn't believe it. You walk into a soundstage where they filmed Gone with the Wind.
Right.
And it's this giant soundstage, and there over in the corner is Michael Jackson dancing. And I was like, wow, I'm here.
Yeah, that is so amazing. It's like dreams can come true when you move to LA.
That's right. They can. You got to work hard, but they can. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you worked a long time with Michael, right? And I just watched your documentary, and let me make sure I get the name right.
Oh, wow.
The Man Behind the Dance. And you left us wanting more.
Right.
So I hope that we're going to get some more stories.
Well, in July, I'm going to Belgium to shoot some more. We're working on the second one now, so hopefully it'll be happening out soon.
Because you left us hanging when you said you were working with Michael on This Is It until you weren't, I guess. So what happened?
Right, exactly, right. Well, I think it's always so much easier to people like myself, Jennifer Batten, Kevin Dorsey. We're also working on a show together now, and it's going to be in New York, LA, and Orlando. Rodrigo Teasers tour.
Yes.
And I think that we're close to Michael, and we don't bite our tongues. So it's people like us, they don't want around. It's easier to handle somebody when you don't have somebody like me around saying that's not a good idea. Don't do that, or you don't look good. Maybe you should rest. Maybe you should go home.
Right.
Or what's wrong with you? Asking too many questions. People don't like that. And so it's easier to make them do what you want when my big mouth isn't around.
So what was it like, you had been let go and then you find out, I don't know what the time frame looked like, but then you find out Michael had passed. What was that like for you?
It was fast. It was awful. I think I was numb for about close to a year. I was in London doing the first time I cried, I was in London doing a TV show called A Move Like Michael Jackson. And I was in London for 4 months shooting that TV series dance show. And I was doing an interview like this one, and I kept saying Michael Jackson is, and they
Oh.
would say, "Cut, Mr. Smith, you have to say was." And I say, "Okay, I
Oh.
got it, I got it." And I kept doing is over and over, and my mouth would not say was.
Mm-hmm.
The moment, the moment I said was, I lost it.
Oh.
And everybody was so nice, but I couldn't stop crying. I mean,
Yeah.
because I hadn't cried. I was just numb. But the
Mm-hmm.
moment I said was, it was, it's just the weirdest thing, but just a little word, three
Yes.
letters, was.
Right.
It clicked in my head that it was real. It was permanent. It was real.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I had to take a moment. Everybody was great about it. But I felt so bad. I was like, I should have done this a long time ago. I should have just got it all out. But it wouldn't come. I mean,
Yeah.
I was just numb. That's the best way I can describe it, numb.
Yeah.
But the moment I said that, it happened. And but yeah, hearing it, I don't know. I think maybe the body has a way of just protecting itself from things like that. But I was numb.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't angry. Well, that didn't come till later. I wasn't angry. I wasn't anything. I was just numb.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once I cried, it was profoundly sad.
Mm-hmm.
Profoundly sad. Because then you start to realize that, and then you start to hear things coming out in the press that didn't have to be that way.
Right. Right. I remember when I heard it, I was like, I don't believe this. This is not true. And I was so glad I was off work that day because I was balled up in the floor and I called my parents yelling, Michael's gone. They're like, who? The way I was crying, he would have thought it was a relative. I was so upset, but it was like he touched so many lives. He was the soundtrack to most of our lives.
That's right. And he had been in our lives since most of us were kids.
Right.
With Jackson 5. So in a way, it's like a family member. So I understand completely where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people felt that way. I mean, it showed, around the world, you saw people coming out to pay tribute. It's one of those things that you wish he had been alive to see that, because he would have understood how much he meant to all of us.
Exactly.
Really, people came out. Every country had a gathering. It was a beautiful thing. Beautiful.
Well, this year, on the anniversary on June 25th, you guys are bringing Rodrigo Teaser's Michael Lives Forever show to the US for the first time. So how did you get involved in that? And then how did it end up being that June 25th is the first show?
Yes, and it's at the Palladium, and it's going to be great because it was supposed to happen, I think, in right before COVID, but I had to cancel. But Rodrigo wrote me a beautiful letter about maybe 8 years ago.
Okay.
And I read it, and it was so moving, how much Michael meant to him, and how with his show he pays tribute to Michael. He also sent me a video of the show, of course, but the letter was so moving, and he said how much he loved Michael and how much he respected what I do, and just went on, and asked if I would come there and work with him and meet him first, just meet him and then possibly work with him. Well, his friends, his wife Priscilla, and all of his friends got together, and I met him on like a TV show there. It's like a morning daytime talk show. Mm-hmm. So I surprised him, and the rest is history. I've been directing that show and been a part of that show for about 7 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but we've been to South America, of course. A lot of shows in Brazil, South America, but first time in America. So for me, it's going to be great because I think if anybody deserves for people to see him in America, it's him. Mm-hmm. The way he does a Michael show, he doesn't take artistic license. He verbatim does what we did on stage. He doesn't take any liberties. Wow. He wants it to be exactly the way we did it on stage. That's why I'm there, to say, nope, we didn't do that, we did it this way. And so he does that. And I think that it's such a beautiful way that he pays tribute to Michael that I can't wait for America to see him.
Now, are you actually dancing? You're dancing?
I'm actually in a few numbers, little surprise moments. Me, Jennifer Batten, and Kevin Dorsey. Yeah. We make appearances throughout the show.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What do you think Michael would have thought?
Rodrigo always says, he just, I'm sorry. Oh, I think that he would love this show because, like I say, it is a precise tribute to what Michael did, verbatim. the words. And Rodrigo has a beautiful voice. I mean, he has his own singing career in Brazil, his own
Right.
album and everything. So he has his own thing. But the way he pays tribute to Michael is so right on point that I think Michael would appreciate it. And Rodrigo is meticulous about every detail, costume, his voice. So Michael would love it.
I watched a couple of the YouTube videos just to get a kind of a sneak peek of the show. And the costumes, I'm like, how did he find like almost like the exact costume?
I don't know. He and his wife are amazing. They will have, if they can't find it, they'll have it made. Wow. So yeah, he wants it to be as close, because it's one of those things where if you're a Michael Jackson fan, it's going to take you back to that moment, the first time you saw Michael. It's going to take you right there. But if you've never seen Michael perform, you're a new fan, it is going to be the closest you're going to get to actually being at a Michael Jackson concert. Mm-hmm. Mark my words. People get swept up. It's beautiful. I love to look out in the audience and see people like wow.
So how come only three dates? I wish there were like more. I wish you guys were coming to North Carolina or somewhere close.
Yeah, these 3 dates are like a test to see if if people would want to see him. So hopefully these shows will go well. I'm sure they will, and hopefully next year we'll be back with more American cities, because you're right, Michael's fans are all over America.
Yes.
So it will be great to get to places where Michael went. I think that'd be the smartest way to approach it. Go where Michael went. Give those people some love.
Absolutely. I regret not being able to see him perform live. But just being a kid and watching him on
you're
TV.
Too young. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom said my niece is 33 now, but when she was a little baby, my mom says Michael Jackson was the best babysitter in the world, because she would sit my niece in her little chair, and she'd put on Moonwalker or one of the Michael shows, one of the tours, and my niece would just sit there big-eyed and watch the whole thing. My mom would get housework done and everything. Come back, my niece would still be sitting there watching it. So, but I know what you mean. It's even for me. I mean, I really now think even more appreciate going back and watching our old tours and stuff like that. It's nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice, because those moments come back to you. I remember I remember the weirdest things. So but they're all beautiful memories. So I do enjoy that now.
One of the things I was like, I would love to learn like all the dance routines, but then when they came out with the Wii game, I was like, okay, I got this. So now I got those memorized. Took a while because I'm not a dancer.
Wow.
But Ghost, that's my jam. That one I will tear you up on that Wii game.
Oh, I love that. I haven't done that. I think we have it though. I'm sure we have it. I've never done that. But I do travel around the world teaching Ghost and Dangerous and different things we did with Michael. So it's fun. I do enjoy doing that.
So after
I know what you mean. Those dances. I mean, it's hard when you're in the moment. You're in the moment, and you don't think about it.
After the Janet Jackson documentary that recently came out, she mentioned, well, actually during the documentary, she mentions that during filming Scream, that her and Michael had to be record separately or film it separately. Were you on set when all that was going on? What did you see? So nosy.
Yeah, that was many choreographers, and we all knew each other, so that was all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was those were long days, and yeah, they had different setups. So Janet would have her setup, Mike would have his setup, and a lot of it was CGI. So Michael's pretending to hit something that's not there, but it has to be just right. So it's kind of like hard. But now look at it and I think, wow, so worth it. So worth it. It's so much fun.
Yeah. It's like just every video, and I've been, I get in my moods where I just binge videos and watching every little part, every piece of the choreography, and trying to figure out like, how did they do this? Or, just every little thing. And of course, I can't figure it out.
The best way to do it, like I learned a long time ago, because a lot of people, when I go to certain countries, they say, oh, I already know this. And I'm like, oh, good. Okay. And we start, and they know it the reverse, because they're looking at the video screen doing the same thing. Wrong. If you go to a big mirror, put your phone or your pad in front of a mirror and look at it through the mirror, then it's the same
Oh.
as, yeah. Or put the TV in back of you, a big TV in back of you and a mirror in front of you. It'll be the same. You'll be on the same side as, yeah.
You got to have me set up a dance studio in here.
It works. It works. It's easy and it works. It works.
So I had a couple questions from some fans of yours. One question was they wanted to know what your favorite routine that you did with Michael Jackson, like
dance or choreographed dance.
Let's go with both. Let's go with both.
Okay. This is so people think I'm crazy when I say this, but I used to love to do Heartbreak Hotel with Michael. I used to love to dance Heartbreak Hotel. Don't know why. It was fun. It was free. It was, I don't know. It was just one of my favorite things to dance with him. Choreography wise, everything I've done with him, choreography wise, I've loved.
Okay.
I've loved. But something to me that was so special was the teaser for History Tour with all the soldiers in Budapest, Hungary. I love that. I love that so much. It was simple. I had all this really difficult arm things going on, and Michael's like, "Oh, LaVelle, they're real soldiers. They'll never get that." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Make it really simple." Like, I got it. But that was just really a good time because, like I say, it was literally thousands of soldiers from different countries in Europe. And people came together, and all the guys were just so nice. All the soldiers were nice to each other. They were nice to us and respectful. And we just had a great time. It was simple choreography, but it was really, really a good time.
Oh, I love that.
But obviously, creating Dangerous for Michael was with Michael was, man, mind blowing.
Yeah,
he had let me choreograph a little thing for Jam, the drill for Jam for Dance Tour. Let me choreograph that. And that was the first thing he ever let me do. And I was just like over the moon about that. And then we get to Japan later on in the tour, and he says, well, he called and says, I'd like you to choreograph the American Music Awards Dangerous. And I was like, okay. You hang up and then you freak out. Yeah,
right.
You try to be as cool as you can, then you hang up. But it was amazing. Yeah, that was I love that feeling. And I try to bring that same, anything I choreograph for anybody, Beyonce, anybody, I try to bring that same intensity, that same excitement of that. I did my first ballet here in Louisville, Kentucky during COVID, my very first ballet.
Wow.
And I brought the same intensity of Dangerous, how you find all your steps, you workshop things, you think, it's just it's the way I like to do it. You search high and low for the right step. It's like you search the galaxy for just the right steps, and that's how I get Dangerous. That's how I approach my ballet. I try to approach everything.
Yeah, I love that. So there's tons of new artists, and a lot of the artists do cite Michael Jackson as one of their influences. But then you got these, I don't want to call them ignorant, but ignorant folks that will say, I can't even think of any new artist names at the moment, but they'll say so-and-so is the new Michael Jackson.
Oh,
like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say that with a straight face. So I really can't even imagine. But gosh, it's a compliment to that person. But I really don't think we'll have another Michael Jackson in my lifetime, unfortunately. Because you look around. I travel the world all the time. I look around. You never know what form it's going to be in,
right?
Or what shape, size, or color. So you look around. I haven't seen anybody that even comes close. But I do love it when people reference Michael Jackson, because that means hopefully they have his hard work, his attitude, hard work, and a great work ethic. And I hope that's what they're talking about. I think the closest we have, I have called Beyonce myself a female Michael Jackson, just because she works that hard, strives for perfection, and is super talented. So
yeah. I was going to mention her. Like, she's the only one I think could come close.
And it's and I think that if we said that to her, she would wouldn't be like, oh yeah, she's very humble, like Michael, very humble.
Right.
So she might not like us saying that, but that's as close as I've seen. Yeah.
Okay, because I saw something yesterday on Twitter where they were saying somebody said, and of course everybody jumped on him, Chris Brown is better than Michael Jackson. And I was like, get this blasphemy off my phone.
I know, right? Don't make me break my phone. But people have said to me, Usher and don't you think that Usher and Chris Brown are better dancers? I said, no. They do. They have they do their thing and Michael does his thing. They come from two different. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't compare. It's like apples and oranges. You really can't compare. What Michael's dance was organic. It didn't come from. It came from him studying the greats,
right? The
greats of ballet, the greats of jazz, the greats of like Fosse and people like that. It didn't come from anywhere else, and so it's hard to compare those two things. People say that. Don't you think that Chris Brown or Usher's better? I'm like, no, I don't think that, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
They're great at what they do. They're just not.
Yeah. And I think people miss out on the fact that they were also influenced by Michael. So they kind of forget about that part.
Yeah. I don't know how you can leave that big part out. That's the big part. How could you leave that out? But yeah, you're right. They managed to do that somehow.
So I have to ask about Smooth Criminal when you guys would perform it. And, even now you see people always trying to do a lean and of course they fall. What was that like? Was there ever moments where you're like, where you were terrified, like this might not work tonight?
I hated it. It seemed like drama every night. Sometimes the bolts popped up out of the floor perfectly. Sometimes they weren't there at all. Sometimes dancers would try to go too far and pop out. One time Michael popped out of his. Yeah, it was a nightmare. I just didn't like it. Just because, who needs this drama right in the middle of a dance number? The shoes were super heavy because the heel was made of metal. Oh. So it was just, for me, it was a nightmare. Yes, for me, it was a nightmare. But looking back on it, it was fun. It was fun. And it was a thing that Michael really wanted to give the fans live. Because, when we shot the film, Smooth Criminal, the dancers had the pegs too, but they also had wires on their bodies. Oh. So he wanted to figure out a way to do it without the wires, only using the pegs and your natural bass string.
Ooh, my nerves would be tore up every night too.
Yeah. When it starts, you're fine. But then when you're walking toward that side of the stage, you know what's coming up. You're like, here we go again. So you take all that anxiousness and anger and use it. Yeah.
I love that. Let's see.
That's all you can do.
Right. Do you happen to know? So I've heard so many conflicting stories about this. And of course, people always are arguing on social media about it too. Who actually taught Michael Jackson the moonwalk?
That is a good question. Somebody asked me that recently. There's two schools of thought. Michael has told me himself that he saw it on the streets. He saw some dancer, some kid doing it on the street. You know how the B-boys used to, street corners, break dancing. He said he saw it that way. But also Jeffrey Daniels said that he taught it to him. And so, I think it's probably, when things like that happen, it's probably a combination of both.
Well, who told me that they taught him?
Uh-oh.
I can't think of his Michael Chambers. He played Turbo in the Electric Boogaloo movie. He told me in an interview years ago that he is the one that taught Michael, that Michael called him up and said, come through, show me that dance. And that he went over there and showed it.
It's possible. I always get, like, the dates is what I always try to figure out. Motown 25 happened when I was in high school. I don't know what year I was. Okay, so I was a senior. Okay, and so...
Isn't that crazy? I just threw that out there.
I know, thank you. See, I love people like you. I have no idea. So, okay, I was saying, now when did the first Breakin' movie come out? That's how I try to figure it out.
I think that was around...
Before or after 83? It was after 83.
I think it was after. I think it was 84.
Well, see, I remember in the movie Flashdance, 1983, Flashdance, there is a guy, Jennifer Beals, is riding her bike through the city, and there's some guys on the street corner breakdancing, and one guy is doing the moonwalk. So And this is 83. So it's so it's all kind of happening in the right thing. I think all those things are possibly true.
Right.
But I know that he took it, saw it, took it, and made it his own, because I've never really seen anyone do it the way that he did it. Even the first time he ever did it on a Motown show, I had never seen anything like it in my life. I had seen people doing it, but not like that. Not across the stage, and it was just perfection. And of course, I got up and tried to do it. I was a ballet dancer then. Couldn't even figure it out. Could not figure out how the heck he was doing that. It took Michael himself showing me how to do it for Smooth Criminal. Yeah, because I could not figure it out. And when Michael's so good at it, he explained it, its weight, distribution. You have to put your foot, and then he got on his knees and made my feet do it, and it clicked. Like, oh, okay,
wow,
I got it. I got it. Yeah, good teacher, very good teacher. He taught us the bad tour, the whole entire bad tour. Michael taught us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, all the old stuff from the Brothers, Lovely One, Shake Your Body, and Heartbreak Hotel. He taught us all those dances. Motown Medley.
Mm-hmm. So do you take a lot of everything that you've learned from Michael and then apply? I guess you do apply it to every person that you've probably worked with. But
of course, the approach, the way I approach choreography, all of it, all of it. I mean, he was one gigantic master class in, for me, how to perform on stage, how to make whatever you do on stage honest and real. Don't fake it, because the audience is not stupid. They know when you're faking it. Right. So whatever you do, it has to be real. I mean, the lessons I've learned about performing and creating and not being afraid to think outside the box as far as movement. He said something always to me that is so beautiful. Every step that we're ever going to need is out there in the universe. We just have to go get it.
Oh, I love that.
We have to be bold enough to go grab it. It's out there.
Yeah.
That's how I approach everything. Yeah.
So are you?
Go get it.
Yeah. So what else are you working on? I know you've got this tribute show, but is there anything else that you're working on that we should be expecting?
The documentary is, I'm excited about that. And I'm also looking for someone to help me write my book. I've been trying to write a book. I've even tried with a recorder. This is how bad I am. I can't even write it with a recorder. So I'm looking for somebody to help me with that. I really want to get that done. I think it's in me. You know how you have things that are in you and you need to get them out? That's one thing I need to get out. But I'll be doing a lot of teaching this summer. I'm doing Kingvention in London. It's a big Michael Jackson convention in London. I'll be doing that in September.
Oh, cool.
Some other appearances in Holland. I'm doing one in July. At the same time, I'm shooting the documentary in Belgium. I'm open. Life is beginning again.
Yeah.
The ballet was, thank God for the ballet, because it was such a great focus to have that focus while there was COVID going on. It filled a gap in my life that was just so perfect. I've always wanted to do a ballet. Yeah. And they gave me free reign to pick my own music, whatever I wanted to do. And it turned out even better than I could have imagined. I can't wait to do that again. I'm open. Like I say, the doors are open. I feel like, pray to God that COVID doesn't come and destroy everything again. But I feel like things are going to be happening. So I'm going to try to be everywhere. You got to make up for lost time. I feel like, we've all missed each other. I've missed seeing people in person. Yeah. Yeah, sharing stories. I've missed showing dances, and I've missed doing my seminars. So hopefully all of that will be starting up again.
And how can people find out about what you have going on? Do you have a website?
I do have a website. I have a fan page, and it's just my name, LaVelle Smith Jr. I have a personal Facebook page and a fan page, and it's my picture. You can't miss it. Instagram is at LaVelle Smith Jr. My Twitter is the same, LaVelle Smith Jr. And they all have my picture, so you'll know it's me.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I've had such a blast. I could probably talk your head off even longer.
We could. I feel the same way. We could keep going. It's been a pleasure, and I just thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And everybody, make sure you check out Rodrigo teasers. Michael Lives Forever when it comes to the U.S. It's going to be exciting, and you don't want to miss it.
It's an awesome show. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.